Okay, with the title of your movie and the 0 to 10 intensity written down, it's time to apply EFT to your specific event. What I'm going to have you do is just simply tap on certain parts of your body and repeat certain phraseology after me. I would point out that the phrases I asked you to say, I would urge you to say them whether you believe them or not, because belief just is not necessary for this process to work. The other thing about the phraseology which we need to emphasize is that part of that phraseology will be a blank. There will be a pause in it where you can insert the title of your movie. For example, this process starts off with, even though I have this pause experience, and so on. And where that pause was, you'd put in the title of your movie. From our previous example, it would look like this. Even though I have this father called me fatso experience, so on it goes. Other parts of the process will have you tapping on certain parts of your body like this, like this, and the phrases will be a little bit different. It will be this, pause, experience, where you would put in this, father called me fatso, or your version of that, your title of your movie, experience. This, father called me fatso, experience. Simple enough. So with that in mind, let's just get started and do it. Follow after me, if you will. First thing you do is you tap on either hand what we call the karate chop spot. It's that fleshy spot on the outside of your hand. And just say these words. Even though I have this experience, I deeply and completely accept myself. Use that emphasis too, by the way. We'll do it 3 times. Even though I have this experience, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have this experience, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, then you want to tap on the beginning of either one of your eyebrows, right up here, and say this experience. And then the outside corner, the bone on the outside corner of either eye, and say this experience. And then the bone underneath either eye, about 1/2 inch below the pupil, and say this experience. And then underneath the nose, and say this experience. And then below the lower lip, say this experience. And then take your fist and thump the very top of your breastbone and say this experience. And then underneath either arm, about 4 inches below the armpit, say this experience. And that's all there is to it. That's a shortcut version of EFT, which should be effective for just about everybody who uses it for specific events like we're talking about. Now, what you need to do now is to close your eyes, run your mental movie, and notice the 0 to 10 intensity, and write down that number. If you're not at 0, then what you need to do is to go back, rewind this video back to the beginning of the tapping sequence and do another round. Typically anywhere from 1 to 5 rounds. Specific events like these just fade, and the fading, by the way, is typically permanent. If for some reason after 5 rounds of this you still have not made headway or have not made satisfactory headway, you can go to the section on this videotape which is entitled If It Doesn't Work. And there you'll see a few hints, maybe a reminder or two that should get you back on track.